So in all of this, keep in mind the key to functional flexibility, right? That we need to get strong at our maximum range of motion, because doing that, getting strong at our maximum range of motion, is going to increase our maximum range of motion and decrease the warm-up time that it takes to get there. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate the beginner set of exercises that will help us achieve exactly that. Now, if you can remember back to the first principle of the 10,000 method, if you can remember intelligent repetition, one of the keys that define intelligent repetition is that it's specific to our goal. So because our goal is functional flexibility, we're going to make our training as specific to that goal as possible. And for that reason, we're going to include a few different types of stretches, mainly isometric and dynamic stretches, because they allow us to enter and move through and then contract our target muscles at their maximum range of motion. And we'll also work through the exercises at varying speeds, sometimes slower, but mostly I think at much faster speeds than you're probably used to, because again, that's much more specific to our functional goal. In regards to the stretching exercises, the main thing you'll find consistent across almost all of them is that we're trying to stretch our target muscles to their maximum range of motion and then contract our target muscles at their maximum range of motion. Okay, so stretch, then contract. Stretch, contract. Right, so if you warmed up, and I mean it only if you're warmed up, you can put on some music if you like and then follow along with the demonstrations. Okay, let's start. Okay, first up, full side splits. Here, the target muscles are the hip adductor group, especially the gracilis muscle, and the hamstrings just a little bit as well. And this is the most important part of the entire stretching routine. So of all of the exercises, make sure that you're intentional, focused, and intense with this. Starting with the way that you slowly and very intentionally ease yourself down into your maximum range of lateral motion. And definitely use your hands to help when you do this. And now, unless you know that you can do it safely, don't even attempt full range side splits yet. Just hold yourself there at your maximum range of motion. And from here, you can try two things. The easier, safer option that I strongly recommend is to complete 10 adductor contractions here, where you first think that you've hit your maximum range of motion. Or the second option that I've always done, but that I don't really recommend, is this. When you think you've hit your maximum range of motion, intensely contract your adductors, then relax, and then ease down a little further. Contract your hip adductors again, relax, and then ease down a little further again. And just keep repeating that until you're really as far as you can go. And then from there, in your extended maximum range of motion, complete your 10 adductor contractions there. If you follow the second option, you'll need to be very disciplined with your rest. I mean, you probably need a consistent 8 hours of sleep every night, because this way, getting yourself down so much deeper is really going to do a lot more damage. Good damage, of course, but the sort of damage that'll initially take a little bit longer to recover from. But like I said in the introduction, everyone is different. If you're younger and female, like my daughter, the second option is probably fine for you. If you're older and male, or like me, if you're a lot older and male, then I strongly recommend you just do the first, safer option. Just remember that this isn't a sprint race where you'll hit full side splits in one session. You got to pace yourself to complete the full 10-week program. So be smart, be humble, and most importantly, be safe. And either way, whichever option you take, stay in the stretch. Keep your target muscles stretched out around their maximum range of motion as you contract them. And here's a tip to help you contract your hip adductors, okay? Try pushing your heels down through the floor to carry or suspend your body weight. Hold the contraction for at least 1 second and remind yourself that the contractions need to be intentional, focused, and intense. Like I said in the introduction, there are stretching routines that are designed for your relaxation and comfort, but this routine is definitely not like that. Instead, this will purposefully fatigue your target muscles, especially the hip adductor group, and you'll probably feel tired by the end of it because, you're training your body to be familiar with working hard at your maximum range of motion. And of course, as long as you feel comfortable and safe, without forcing yourself into extreme discomfort or pain, see if you can safely increase your range of motion just a little bit. Okay, standing adductor stretch. The target muscle here is your adductor group on the inside of your groin. So to start with, Take a long step forward like a basic lunge or front stand. From there, different people are going to achieve the stretch in different ways. Some of you are going to find that it helps to turn your rear leg out so that your rear knee is turned out as well. And some of you are going to find that it helps to keep your hips facing square to the front. And some of you are going to find that it's better to turn your hips wider. It's going to be slightly different for everyone, but this is a great beginner stretch that's really safe and easy to start with. Once you've achieved a stretch in your rear leg adductors, contract them in their stretch by pulling your rear knee forwards. That's how we're going to take our target muscle to its maximum range of motion and then make it contract. And just a note about posture, you'll notice that the more you lean forward, the more you reduce the stretching stress on your adductors. And the more you lean back, the more you increase the stretching stress on your adductors. So find a posture that suits you best. So continue to complete 10 repetitions to start with. Lower down into your adductor stretch, then pull your rear knee forwards. Stretch, and then contract. After you've completed the reps on your left side, count off another 10 reps on your right side. And if it feels okay, try to increase the range of your stretch and the intensity of your contractions. Standing hamstring stretch. Okay, your target muscle here is your hamstrings at the back of your upper leg, and it's very similar to the previous standing adductor exercise. To begin, stand with your feet a bit wider than your shoulders. Pull your left toes up and keep your left leg straight. There's no need to turn your hips in this exercise, so just keep your hips square to your extended leg and then lean down over your extended leg. But still, our bodies are all different, so adjust your hips until you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. When you achieve this stretch, continue to complete 10 repetitions. Lower down into the hamstring stretch, then contract your hamstrings as you lift your upper body back to the start. Now remember that the key to this exercise is to stretch your target muscles to their maximum range of motion and then contract your target muscles at their maximum range of motion. That's how you're going to get strong at your maximum range of motion and extend your maximum range of motion. A helpful tip is to push your heel through the floor as you lift yourself back into the starting position. And be careful of your back as you do this. The more you bend your back, the more you're going to reduce the stretching stress in your hamstrings. Okay, so as long as you feel comfortable and safe, without forcing yourself into extreme discomfort or pain, see if you can safely increase your range just a little bit. Side squats, and the target muscle here is our adductor group on the inside of our hips again, in particular the gracilis muscle. And this is exactly the same exercise from our warm-up. The only difference is that we're warmed up now, and we want to make our target muscles strong at their maximum range of motion. To do that, we're not just going to bang these out to, just to finish the set. What you really need to try to do is contract your target muscles at their maximum range of motion. And you can achieve that by going down into the side squat, and then as you rise up into the next squat, try to force your extended foot down through the floor. That way you should be able to engage the adductors of the extended leg at their maximum range of motion. If you can't really feel the stretch in your adductors on the inside of your hips, then try leaning forward just a little bit. Everyone is different, so you'll need to adjust your position so that it works for you. Count off 10 reps for both sides, and then when you're comfortable, try to increase the depth of each squat just a little bit. Seated adductor stretch. So sit with your feet together and your knees open. And again, the target muscles are the hip adductor group on the inside of your hips. Pull your knees down and open with your hip abductor group, that's the muscles on the outside of your hips, and then use your abductors to hold your knees open for at least a second or so. Then place your elbows on the inside of your legs and use your adductor group on the inside to pull your knees up and against your elbows. And this way, your elbows should provide some firm resistance against the adductor contraction. When that's done, continue to repeat the movement. Abductors pull the knees down, then elbows on knees, and adductors pull your knees up. If you can, try to sit with a straight back so that you engage your adductors more. Even if you can't use your elbows to create resistance for your adductors, you're still going to be able to do the work correctly by stretching your target muscles to their maximum range of motion and then contracting your target muscles at their maximum range of motion. Okay, count off 10 reps, and as always, try to increase the range of motion with each rep if it feels safe. Okay, in the next video, we're going to start our journey to full range, strong side splits with session number 1. Another important thing we'll do is make a record of our initial range of motion as a benchmark. And shooting that record, even if it's just with your phone, is going to be very easy, very useful, and very encouraging as you refer to it in the future so you can objectively measure how far you've increased your flexibility. Okay, I'll see you then.